You're probably freaking out about that huge credit score drop just because of a 90 or 120-day late payment on your student loan. Before you continue freaking out for the rest of the day, I want you to just stop, watch this video as well as the one that I posted yesterday about this, as well as all my other student loan videos, because I'm going to help you to remove them, or I could do it for you, but we'll talk about that later. After you watch this video, because I explain why that 90-day late payment is on there and how to handle it, a lot of people don't understand what I'm talking about when I say okay 90, and what you should do if it's not even a late payment anymore. It's actually a collection. What I'm talking about when I say okay 90, I'm literally referring to the payment history where it shows okay 90 on time, 90 days late. How can you be 90 days late when you weren't 30 or 60? Because if that were correct, then this first one should actually say 30, the second one should say 60, and the third one should say 90, and then obviously followed by 120, 150, 180, etc. When you look at that payment history, this is what it's supposed to look like. But if those are not on there and all you're seeing is on time 90 days late, we have a huge problem because your payment history shouldn't be reported like that. Student loans are reported as 90 days late as the first late payment because they report in 90-day cycles. I talk more about that in that video, so make sure that you go watch it. We can dispute this. Now, there's only been like 2 times in all of my fazillion years, 15 years of doing this, where the Bureau's actually corrected those on-time payments to be the true late payments. Otherwise, that 90-day late payment gets removed and updated on time, meaning that you are not going to have late payments. And you can gain those 180, 150 points back that you dropped just because of this. Now, we're going to jump into a couple other things, but let's touch on this real quick. If it's a collection, such as Department of Education collection, this is disputed totally differently. We went over that in the previous video as well. You're treating that as a charge-off, disputing it using the hierarchy, such as date less paid, the notice to dispute, the payment history, etc. That account is already closed. It is already reported as a loss, and now they're trying to collect it from you. It's different. And we'll create another video about that. More people are dealing with this issue right now, so that's why we are touching on this. The way that you're going to actually write your dispute is going to look something like this. You're going to have your personal info at the top, bureau name and address, date, etc. There's a structure for this. So you need to let them know the reason that you're sending the letter, what you want them to do, and optionally ask for a new credit report because they're not going to send it to you. That's stuff they have to print and it costs more in postage. You can say something like, and this is just whatever, but I got into a car accident and need to replace my vehicle, but unfortunately when I pulled my credit report, I noticed inaccurate information that will keep me from getting the best rate. I wrote this because it's real, it's personal, it doesn't say I'm a credit repair company. I would appreciate if you would investigate this and correct it because I really need to get a working car. Please send me a new credit report showing or reflecting these changes. And then we have our accounts. Navient, account number, blah, blah, blah. The late payment history shows a 90-day late payment, but no 30 or 60-day late payment that exists prior to that. Please remove this inaccurate late payment of 90 days on 8/2018 for inaccuracy. And this is an actual not only account number, but this is an actual dispute reason from a letter that I wrote from a client who got results using this letter that I wrote for them based off the information on their credit report. So I'm showing this because it works. This is a process, but it works. The next one is this account lists me as late from 9/2018 to 12/2018, but both this bureau and that bureau have it listed differently. So you want to go into your payment history on each account, and I do recommend that you use My Free Score Now. It gives you all the information that you need. You can find the link in the description. Stop reporting this account on my credit report for inaccuracy. The second account we are deleting. The first account we are updating. Do you see the difference? Thank you for your attention. You want to include your ID. This is old when I made this, so you don't need to send a social security card, and proof of address. And to protect yourself, the Bureau started a new stall tactic, which was basically to say, hey, we don't think it was you. We think that you're working with a third party, an unauthorized party, and for us to protect you, we are not going to process your dispute. It's just a stall tactic, but people fall for it. Print your letter and send it from your home area, post office where you live, but your home area so that the postmark is going to have a zip code that matches your region, okay? Do not sign and do not notarize. This is what your letter should look like. Your opening paragraph or text, you want to include the reason why you're sending the letter, like I said, and that's all that goes into this. If it's relevant, you can include your previous attempts. I'm not sure how I verified this last month, but blah, 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 as well as why you think this information is still inaccurate. The key to removing your accounts has nothing to do with the text body and everything to do with the dispute reasons and the facts from the credit report. Now, with the accounts, this follows the Agero formula, and you can see really any of my other videos to understand what this is. I go literally step by step into the full breakdown. It is action, delete, remove, update, or correct what you're disputing, such as the element like date less active, date less paid, notice of dispute, etc. The reason why you're disputing it. 3 different dates on each bureau, a missing 30 and 60-day late payment prior to 90. The justifier is just the word because. The outcome, optional, and update this account to paid as agreed, never late. When you put it all together, you get the same dispute reason that I would. Delete this account because the date last active shows 3 different dates on each bureau. Correct the late payments on this account because I was not 90 days late on 2018, and update to paid, never late for inaccuracy. And then you do not sign this, your signature can end up on contracts you didn't sign. Thank them for their attention to this urgent matter. You can put it however you want. You also want to ask for a updated credit report so that they can send you one in the mail. Lastly, add your first and last name. So it's very simple. There's nothing difficult to understanding how to write a dispute letter for the student loan. Now we're going to talk about whether you should dispute to update, meaning have it report as paid on time, or dispute to delete the whole account. The account is paid and is older than your other accounts. You're going to leave this account. You don't change the scorecards, and you also don't want to change the total length of credit history as well as your average length. To leave the account and try to clean it up, dispute the oldest late payment that you can see in an attempt to get them to remove the late payment history for failure to legally verify. Now, the account is unpaid and the oldest on the credit file. So because the account was unpaid, normally you would remove it. However, because it's the oldest account on the credit file, you will need to decide if removing it will jeopardize the credit score. If you decide to dispute it for removal, my recommendation would be to go after the late payment history. You can do this by attacking first day of delinquency, the 90-day late payments, if there are no 30 or 60 days prior charge-off reasons such as date less active, date less paid. Take out the date last active. We don't use date last active anymore because the credit bureaus don't treat it as they're supposed to. If you decide to leave the account and dispute the late payment history to clean it up, dispute the late payment history as inaccurate or inconsistent between the 3 bureaus. The account shows 90-day late payments without 30 or 60-day lates and less than 6 or 7 sets of consecutive late payments, and there are positive payments after the late. So the account is not currently late. You can dispute this for update or correction. To dispute the 90-day late as inaccurate, there should be 30 and 60-day lates prior to 90-day lates. For consecutive lates, choose one of the lates. You can dispute this for update or correction. You can dispute this for correction. This video is inside this course. I will create another video where we watch it together. To dispute the 90-day lates as inaccurate because there should be 30 and 60-day lates prior to 90-day late payments. Choose one of the lates, preferably the oldest, and ask for the late payment history to be removed for inaccuracy. You may choose to go after each late payment separately to increase the chance of correction. If the account ends in late payment, there is no on-time payments after the late, and or the account has been sent to collections, sold, or transferred due to an unpaid balance, you are only going to delete this. There's no way to fix this. You need to remove it. There's no way to update an account that ends in late payments because the status 120 days late, 90 days late, charged off, transferred or sold, etc. will not change regardless of the late payment history. You can do this in one of the following ways. Dispute the late payments, but ask for deletion for inaccuracy instead of correction or an update. You're going to treat this as a charge off and go after the date last paid, notice of dispute, etc. All right, so we have 3 more. The account is unpaid and is not older than the other accounts and reports 6+ late payments, 90 to 120 days late. It's more likely that the best option to delete this account because the late payment history on the account will not change and more than likely will not result in a credit score decrease by removing it. The account is paid and is not older than the other accounts and reports 6+ late payments, 90 through 180 days late, or the status is harmful. Your only option is to remove it, and it's more than likely not going to cause a decrease in your credit score. The account is charged off, sold, or transferred due to an unpaid balance, currently late without plan to repay, etc. delete it. Go after the lates as described earlier, charge-off reasons, date last paid, notice of dispute, payment history. There's no way to correct this. And this is the last one. The account reports 30 to 60 day late payments. These can be corrected by forcing them to verify the lates because they're not going to do it. You can do this by first saying that you were not late and for the correction of the inaccurate lates because you were not late on those dates. So this works because of what we went over before. The only way to legally verify the payments is for the bank to furnish their running bank statement. They are not going to provide it. If it does not work, you can challenge the failure to investigate because they would otherwise furnish that documentation. It is hearsay. You can dispute the oldest lates to make it harder for them to verify. Go after the notice of dispute. If they fail to mark the account as disputed within 30 days, check if all three bureaus report the same information. I get it. Your brain is probably going all over the place. What am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to write my letter? Is this even going to come off? How many disputes am I going to have to send out? And the answer to this is you're not going to dispute it forever, but it is difficult if you don't know what you're doing. Text me for access. It's $39. We've gone over the whole thing. Just watch the previous video. You can see if I can do it for you by going to my740.com. If I can help you, I will. If I can't, I'll give you recommendations. Now, outside of all that, smash that like. Seriously, there's nobody else that's telling you how to do this the right way. A lot of people steal content from me. Smash that like, subscribe if you haven't. See you in the next video on student loans and how we can get this off for you.